So, how you used to work as a journalist from Dubrovnik? What were you doing? What is your actually experience?
Well, the war in Dubrovnik started at 1st of October 1991, but before or prior that there was a war in Croatia, so we knew that in the other parts of Croatia, so we knew that something will eventually happen in Dubrovnik, but we didn't know when and will it happen. So we were sort of prepared. I went to Split and to the places where the war already began, but we didn't expect that it will be in Dubrovnik too. The strange thing is that you are in a totally new situation. Everybody was telling we must buy some food for the war, but we didn't know what kind of food to buy. Is it the sugar or the salt or sardines or not? You're practically trying to figure out with no any previous experience what to do. And then when it started, you start to behave instinctively, really, and then try to do the best in that situation. Yeah.
And you were reporting for.
I was the only journalist, television journalist in Dubrovnik at that time. So practically everything that went out from Dubrovnik was from our camera. From time to time came the BBC crew and ITN crew, but practically we were me and my crew were alone, and we were totally besieged.
Yeah, just would explain maybe a bit how it was, because not everybody these days.
We were practically after 10 or 15 days of practically the first day. The first day of attack on Dubrovnik, we were almost totally besieged. Practically after 15 days, we were closed from every side, only on the territory of the city.
So you're surrounded by that mountain.
Yeah, and by every side. And the first day of the war, as there was in Yugoslavia, there was so-called. We were to Yugoslav army, so we knew the strategy of Yugoslav army in the war times. And the strategy with television is to destroy transmitters, and there is no television in one place. So the first day of the war, there was a Yugoslav warplane that destroyed the transmitter on Mountain Surge, and they said now no picture will go out from Dubrovnik. Practically by air we couldn't send any picture, but we were putting the cassettes into the speedy boats during the night, sending to Split, or we were putting the cassettes in the engines of ships, civilian ships that were evacuating the women and children from Dubrovnik.
What was the biggest challenge after time, you understand, and what is the main lesson you learned reporting your own war for the first time?
The lesson was that you must tell the truth. Somebody says, during the wartime you can lie a little bit. I understood from the beginning, because we were the defending part, we were the attack part. I understand from the beginning that I must tell only the truth and not to do bigger or lie something. But I was sure if I'm telling the truth, then the other side couldn't say that is a lie. Couldn't discover. I knew if I'm saying some lies that Montenegrin or Serbian television will discover that's the lie. That's thing not happening, because they were telling, for example, that that Dubrovnik was not bombed, that we are firing tires of the cars or something like that. And my duty was to show that Dubrovnik was shelled and Dubrovnik was attacked. Yeah.
And like from when you have the ethnic conflict, which wasn't really present before, how you work with that, with the different people?
No, it was different in Dubrovnik. At the beginning, we were also we were Dubrovnik people, regardless the ethnic the ethnic belonging. We had in Dubrovnik area we had Serbs in Croatian army. We had also Montenegrins in Croatian army because they felt that they are Dubrovnik people and they were defending. We were on the same melting pot. Yeah,
But
in the middle of the city, attacked, shelled every day from the mountains, surrounding mountains.
how you managed to preserve this unity, which wasn't preserved in a lot of places, though the people didn't have troubles before?
We had problem. Of course, some of the Serb people escaped from Dubrovnik. But those who remain were practically dividing the same poverty that we had during the wartime, because you must know we were cut from the electricity, we were cut from the water, the drinking water. So we were practically trying to survive, to find some food and find some potable water. So we were in the same position. It was a sort of medieval war going on here. You know, they cut the electricity, they cut the water, and waiting that we surrender. Yeah.
What would be your, maybe not, I won't say advice, but something when somebody tell like it's impossible, the war, like the conflict between the people is impossible, like how to be aware of that? That it's like we now in the middle of Europe, things can happen like that. If somebody tells like it can't happen.
We thought that they will never attack Dubrovnik because it's World Heritage, but they attacked. In one day, they shelled on the 6th of December. They shelled more than 700 shells into the old city. So we thought we are preserved because the war will happen. I learned something. I learned something that you must defend it by yourself. We were waiting every morning. Somebody was shouting, "Oh, there's the American Sixth Fleet coming." But the American didn't come, nobody else come. We had to defend by ourselves. The world will not help.
So why it matters, or it doesn't matter at all, to be involved in all this negotiation, talking, hopes?
With negotiation, you can prolong, you can buy time. We were negotiating also in Dubrovnik, but we were buying time. We were buying time to organize the army, to buy the weapons and everything. You know, with negotiation, you just buy time.
Do you think it's possible in some cases, like to, and it was not in this particular case, not in Croatia, but to avoid this conflict? And what to do to avoid it?
It's not, you know, we are not the part that started the conflict. So we couldn't expect that we have to avoid something because it was a black and white situation in the Dubrovnik area, you know.
People tell that there is no black and white. Somebody today told me that there is no black and white. Do you think it can?
Yeah, this was because we were a touristic spot. We didn't have any Yugoslav army garrison to defend. We were practically a civilian part of Croatia with no army and no nothing. We just had to self-organize to defend the city.
How long it take for the people to come back to the normal life? Like with mentally?
For someone never who lost someone, who lost the child or something like that. The war is still in the heads. To to rebuild the city 7 or 8 years or something like that.
So what would,
But in the heads, the war is still in some heads. The war is still existing.
so what would be your, probably, not just as a journalist, but as a person who lived through that, the main lesson? And what you would do differently or maybe not?
I wouldn't do anything differently because you know you. I don't know. I wouldn't do anything different. But although you think you well, I wouldn't joke as we joked. You know, near the end of the war, we were joking, and during the night, watching the light of flames from the cannons, and then counting 25 seconds to a grenade to come, and who will stay more on out area, and then escape in the. I wouldn't do that kind of joke anymore, but with the going the months of war, the years of war, you start to do crazy things. You just start to make fun of the war, you know. It's the adrenaline in you that doing with you some crazy things that I wouldn't do now anymore. And maybe I'm older now.
And as a journalist and as a person, how to remain sane? What is your answer when there is a clear enemy and all these unexpected things?
For me, the most important thing was to get my family out of Dubrovnik, so that I could work by only work and not. It's a difficult thing to have the family, to have the son in danger, and you have to work as a journalist. So when I put it out, my wife and son out of Dubrovnik, I was happy because at that moment I could be only a journalist, not a part of the family that I had also to take care. For us, the thing is to put the picture out of Dubrovnik. That was the main task, you know. That was it, because we couldn't send it by air, but we were sending it physically, the cassettes out of Dubrovnik.
Now it's so much easier. It's happened, but there is other challenges.
We put the cassettes into engine room, not because every ship going from Dubrovnik had to go to Montenegro. Then they were searching on the ship and then let them to split. Is it going to finish?